Hello VC, welcome back to the channel. I apologize for my little absence. I just got really busy, but I've been wanting to film this video so bad, because I don't know, I got some cool finds, and I don't like being away too long, you know. It's always a fun time. But yeah, I got a pretty cool little collection dig yesterday, so figured what better than to make a video now. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. Helps me out. I'm trying to get to like 2,000 subscribers for the end of the year. I think that'd be pretty fun. So yeah, we'll get right into it. The new release that everyone's talking about, right? Pink Floyd at Pompeii, an official reissue. It's been bootlegged for like so many years. But yeah, when I heard this was coming out, I was like, ooh, I kind of need to have that. I've seen the video so many times. You know, my dad has the VHS tape. He has the DVD. He's got all that stuff. He loves this performance, so I've seen it so many times. It's just killer. It sounds so good too. First time I put this on, it literally like stopped me in my tracks. Like I was like, damn, and I was like floating. It was so good. Yeah, this came with the poster and everything. This version of Echoes is just so killer. And even into their more psychedelic stuff, like with Careful with That Axe, Eugene, and A Saucer Full of Secrets, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, stuff like that. This is incredible. Really a must-have, in my opinion. If you're a big Pink Floyd fan, this kind of kicked off my little Pink Floyd kick as of recently. But yeah, killer record. Another new pressing, well, not too new. I recently sold my reissue of this record because it sounded like complete crap. It sounded horrible, and it made me not want to play it ever. And this is an album that deserves to be listened to. Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators. This is the 2022 press on the green vinyl, and it's got the strip and everything. I think they said they opened this and played it once. Figured I'd pick it up. This was a little eBay grab. I started perusing the eBay again. I know I said I wouldn't, but yeah, I'm breaking my own rules. But yeah, this sounds great too. So much better than the copy I had by a long shot. It's actually like listenable, you know. And I was gonna hold out for an original copy, but I don't know when I'm gonna get an original copy, you know. I'm always haunted because I passed up on one when I was very early in my collecting, and it was just at that time a record price at that price was out of the question. But now looking back, it was a complete steal. Like there's no doubt if I saw that now I would buy it. But yeah, it's the only copy I've ever seen too, or actually like held. You know, I've seen them in a glass case for $1,000, but yeah, it just no-brainer price now. But then I wasn't spending that much. This next one, completely out of that psychedelic realm, but we'll get back into it. But Tyrone Davis, Turn Back the Hands of Time. This is on CTI Records. It's in a shrink wrap, super nice copy. Yeah, I'm not sure if this one's gonna stay around forever, but it's a good little soul record, you know. Got some nice tracks on it. I enjoyed it. I picked it up because it was super cheap, and I was like, yeah, give it a listen. And yeah, I enjoyed it, but not sure if it's something that I'll be playing too often, so that might get passed along. This one though is definitely one I'm gonna keep. I really like this one. Flow. Sorry about the glare there. It says Flow, if you can't tell. This is 1970, I believe. Yes. Look at that. Love that drawing on the back there. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't really know what this was either. But saw it. It was super cheap. You know, it has some damage, which is why it's cheap. But yeah, picked it up and I was like, very pleased by the music. And before I'd even heard the music, I was doing a little bit of research into the band, and this band actually features Don Felder from the Eagles on guitar. Um, and you would never be able to guess that. This is kind of a jazz rock record. It's labeled as jazz rock. It's on CTI, recorded at Van Gelder Studios. But this is great. It's just really good. It kind of there's a bit of a Psych vibe going on through the whole thing. I think a little bit of a dreamy sort of thing on a couple tracks. I think Here We Are Again, definitely one that had some of those vibes. Got to Get Behind Your Trip, maybe. But yeah, it's got some Psych vibes on it. I really dug it. If you're into that sort of jazz rock type vein, and you're also into Psych, I think this is a good crossover of the two genres. And yeah, it's just someone that Don Felder played guitar on this. Like, that's so weird. It doesn't sound anything like the Eagles or anything close to that. It doesn't sound like him playing guitar either. I got this for such a steal. It's got a little bit of condition issues, but I don't mind. It's not too bad. And yeah, it's pretty rare, but not overly expensive. Flow is what that's called. A great one. This next one is one that I got from the little collection dig, and the next couple are, and I'll show the rest of the stack. I only bought I think it was 16 records, so really not that many. It's a little bit of a story to how I got to this collection, but basically my girlfriend watches the dogs for her mom's boss, and they were just talking about me, I guess, or something, and she mentioned that I collected records, and she said, I have a bunch of records in my basement. And yeah, she had probably around 100 maybe, and there was also some 78s that her mother had. But yeah, they were in pretty rough shape, so I was very definitely picking and choosing, for sure. There was some really, really unplayable stuff in there, but yeah, I salvaged the few that I could, and it was a great haul. It was really a great haul. Grateful Dead, Wake of the Flood. This is a great, very chill Grateful Dead record. I was not... I don't know, I'm not familiar with this sort of mid-70s Dead vibe, but I really enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed the early Grateful Dead stuff more than this sort of mid-70s period of their music. But yeah, I still really liked it, and this is definitely one that I'm going to keep for sure. This next one was one that I was pretty excited to see. Usually when I find copies of this, it's just destroyed, and this was actually a really nice, not really nice, but it's a pretty nice copy, considering. But unfortunately, it didn't have the cover with it, so I swapped it with mine. Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. Man, I had a copy of this for so long. I've actually always had a copy of this, because I got this record from my mom, and I actually switched the cover with that one, so, it's the same cover, but, yeah, and it was just really beat up. So I never really put it on, it was in that kind of condition where it was like, I don't really want to play this, it's just really rough. And, yeah, I put this on, this, nice copy, and I was just forgot how good this record is. It's really just amazing, I was, honestly, I was, blown away by it, again, I heard it so long ago, and then I forgot about it, and then put it on, I was like, wow, yeah, just a phenomenal record. I mean, y'all know, I've been big into the Led Zeppelin type music lately, aka I've been listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. Sort of a classic rock is the kind of mood I've been in for whatever reason. But yeah, this one just so good, just hit perfectly at the moment I listened to it. This next one, I went on a little dig with my buddy Matthew, as I always do. And this one found at an antique store for a very, very cheap price. And I haven't put it on yet, which, forgive me for that, but I just wanted to show it. Great White. This is the self-titled 1984, I believe. It's got some marks, but it's a really nice copy. My parents love Great White, so I was really happy to grab this. They're definitely more of like a hair band than the stuff I'm usually used to. So it doesn't really click with me so much, but like my parents love this record, so I had to pick it up, and it was so cheap. Yeah, it's a really cool one. This next one, I was at this outdoor fair type thing, and it was like a craft vendor thing, so I wasn't really expecting records, but I was walking down the road, and someone was holding a record, and I was like, I gotta find that. I gotta find where that is. So I was like running down the street trying to find it, and yeah, I found the little record booth thing that was going on. It was actually a store that's on the street. They just kind of moved outside because, why not on that day? But yeah, I was not expecting to get anything of this caliber there. But this was such a good deal, and I've been really wanting a copy for a while. Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. Fantastic. Like, what can I say about this record? It's not like Stooges, heavy, dirty, gritty, but it's still it's Iggy Pop, It's got that punk vibe, a little bit of glam type thing going on. Yeah, David Bowie plays a little bit on this, and it says recorded by David Bowie. But man, they cut this first press hot. It is smoking. It just sounds so good. Yeah, it's a pretty nice copy. It's got this one mark that's like really bad. I pulled this out and I was like, wow, that's like super clean. But I was tricked by the sunlight. It's actually kind of rough. But I'm okay with the price I paid for it, obviously. I don't mind. And yeah, love this record, and I got super into it over the past couple weeks. Lust for Life, just a great track. Yeah, it's just a fantastic album. You can't. What more is there to say about Iggy Pop? Looking out for more Iggy Pop stuff. Looking out for original Stooges stuff as always. But yeah, sweet. This next one I grabbed in an antique store. And again, completely unexpected find. I've driven past the store so many times. I've driven past the sign for the store, and it's a little out of the way, off the main road. So I never visited. And one time I was like, I've got time. I'm just gonna go look for some records, and I finally went. And this was the only record in the whole place. Like, I swear, it was like, well, this is the only one worth grabbing, I meant. Or worth, like, this is the only one that was, like, it just stuck out like a sore thumb in this place. When I passed this, my jaw dropped. I was like, what? This is Harumi. Yeah, this is a tough one to find. I don't think I've ever seen a copy. Or I think I've seen one copy, but it was in a record store and it was really expensive. Yeah. This is the first press on Verve, and this is a great record. This is right up my alley. This is like everything I ever want in an album. It's a really good pop psych type thing going on. Yeah, it's got some surface marks, but it's really not bad at all. It plays great. Yeah, dreamy, floaty pop psych type stuff, and I got a really good deal on this, but it was a little bit expensive, and I brought this up to the counter to purchase it, and the lady that was working there was like, "Who is paying that much for a record?" That type of thing. I just thought it was really funny. That made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, this is a collectible one." I have a lot. I have like 900 at my house, so this is a very mysterious record too. No one really knows who Harumi is. It's this guy came in from Japan, he recorded this album, and he left. Like, that's pretty much it. Went back. Like, obviously there's pictures of him and stuff, but, you know, complete mystery. No one's been able to contact him afterwards. There's one little interview with the producer of this record, where they talk about the fact that the record exists. You know, it's from, like, the time when this was coming out, 68 or 67 or whatever it was. But yeah, really, really a mystery. And it's got this, the second disc is just like, I think it's like spoken word poetry with whatever's going on. It's called Samurai Memories. I haven't played that yet, I know. But I've heard that it's kind of weird, so I just kind of had been putting it off, but disc 1 is just fantastic. If you're into that psychedelic type thing, you know, this is one to get, right? But it's a bit out there, a bit weird. Recording quality's not great, or at least the pressing quality or something. Sound quality's not amazing, but I'm very happy to own this. I listened to it a lot, and I really, really enjoyed the sort of vibe going on here. And that brings me to the last of the sort of keeper stuff, even though I'm not really sure that I'm keeping this one. Yeah, this came from the dig, my girlfriend's dog sitting adventure. Yeah, I was flipping through this, saw this, picked it out, looked it up, and I was like, wow. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to pay a lot for these. This is Jimmy Buffett, Down to Earth. His first record that he ever put out, on Barnaby. This came out before he was signed to a major label. Yeah, I flipped to the cover. I saw it was Jimmy Buffett, and I was like, okay, well, that would be a good one to have anyways, right? But I saw that it was on Barnaby, like a smaller label, and I was like, oh man, this might be something, and for sure it is something. This record is so hard to find. I've never seen one, and yeah, I was pretty shocked pulling this out. It's a really nice copy. I mean, compared to the condition of other stuff there, this is super nice. It's got a few little surface marks, but it's like a really, really strong VG, like low-end VG plus copy. Yeah, I really, really, really wanted to love this, but I'm just not sure it's for me, you know? I said I would give it a very fair chance before I sold it and stuff. I gave it 2 listens already, and I got it yesterday, you know? And they were both yesterday. I listened to it twice in one day, basically. He's got very much this country twang going on the whole time. Which, don't get me wrong, it's not always bad to have that country twang. I mean, like, this is actually a really good record. It's just not for me, you know? It's labeled as, like, folk rock everywhere, but it's really more of a country rock record, to me, in my opinion. But it has some really good tracks on it, you know? I'd say about half the tracks hit me in the right spot. You know, there's a song called LSD, like someone's name, but, you know, LSD, obviously. And my absolute favorite track on this record, this is a track that I actually really love. It's so good. Truck Stop Salvation, the final track, they open it up and they're jamming, and it's great. I mean, I really love that. There's Nothing Soft About Hard Times was another one I liked. I'm going to hold on to it for a little. I'm going to give it a few more spins, at least. You know, probably 1 or 2 more, and if it doesn't grab me, probably going to pass it along. But, yeah, love the feeling of finding a good, rare record. And, you know, I paid fairly for it, you know. They had no idea what price they wanted. I'm just going to blow through. This is a stack of other stuff I got from yesterday. Yeah, we'll start with the most unexpected one. Green Day, Dookie. This is the 2009 repress, I believe. Yeah, judging by the sticker. At first, when I saw this, I freaked out. I thought that they had bought this in the 90s, you know, and it was an original press, but yeah, it's a sealed copy, you know, it's a sealed copy of the reissue, so always love that. There was a couple Foreigner records, but this was the only one that wasn't in unplayable shape. You know, this is a pretty decent copy, apart from this cover damage. This is a really nice copy of Get Your Wings by Aerosmith. Beginnings by the Allman Brothers. Comp, good copy. A mint copy of Double Fantasy. Zeppelin 4. All of the Zeppelins were trashed, except for the Physical Graffiti and this one. This one's actually pretty rough still, but it was worth picking up, you know. Yeah, it's an original copy. This is actually one that I'm gonna give it a listen to. Caught my eye, and yeah, I knew it was some sort of comp from Yardbirds era days. Guitar Boogie, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page. Yeah, I've heard it's not anything amazing, but I'm gonna give it a listen. I'm curious. You know, these U2 albums were in really good shape. Cool stuff. This is like mint condition, this Kicks record, which I was very happy about. Garcia, I'm probably going to keep this too, I just haven't listened to it yet, so might be in a future episode. And the Grateful Dead record that no one can pronounce the name of. This is a repress. It's got a little bit of a warp, so I figured I'd keep my later issue. But I love this record. This is a great Grateful Dead record. Kind of the last of the psychedelic era, I think. St. Stephen, fantastic track. Yeah, I really love this one. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I bought in the past month. Been a little bit slow in terms of purchases. I mean, although I pulled out like 20 albums, so can't complain about anything, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not already. Check out my Instagram. Yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.